Hello, hello, hello. New episode Sprint Ride Option Podcast. I am Andrew Pasquini. Jason Aponte to my right, part of the Blue Wire Hustle Network. Jason, we now know the state of the San Francisco 49ers. And who little did we think, Jason, that the state of the 49ers, all on the 49ers app.
Well, not even that. I thought the state of the 49ers was in California.
That's my joke. You took the joke I made earlier on Twitter. Yes. People can verify that I made that joke first.
Yep.
No, for real. All jokes aside, today, like out of in 100% honesty, Jason Aponte, football season started. Today was the first day where I was like, you know what? Yeah, it's July. Greg Papa said, hey, training camp starts in July, second week of August. Next thing you know, football season will be here officially. But today was the first day of football season, at least for the San Francisco 49ers.
You know what's funny about it is Greg Papa did his touchdown call in front of Fred Warner and George Kittle, which really got me like, oh man, here we go. And that's somebody who's not even from the Bay. It's just that to me explains that 49ers football is on the horizon.
Yeah. Oh, hearing him, it's June 30th, and the 49ers have 7 points somehow, some way. The Niners scored a touchdown in June. Earliest team to score a touchdown. So I am trying to pull up some quotes, but Twitter is having issues. So you know what? I can't do that right now. Yeah, I mean, we're here just to talk about the state of the franchise, the state, just what we saw. So Jason, where do you want to start?
It was state of the franchise, but let's get the obvious out of the way. It's state of the jerseys.
Yes.
The 49ers red throwback jerseys that you guys and myself have been asking for, begging for, pleading for are back. And they have dates now. The home opener, the Colts game. I believe the white ones will be on Seattle and Tennessee, which are our end of the year games. I know we're missing some, but those jerseys are going to be available to certain season ticket holders immediately, while everyone else will have to wait for Pacific time, noon tomorrow, to purchase whatever throwback jersey they want to get.
It's so wild to me that people are like, I cannot wait to spend $150 tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, me
I'm
neither.
Excited.
Me neither.
But yeah, that's really the big one. I love every time how they bring Jerry Rice in for these jersey things, and then they use him in the promos for it, because the picture Jed York tweeted, I made the really low hanging fruit joke.
Oh, right.
Well, 49ers really reaching for that receiver depth. Can't believe they signed Jerry Rice. Huge news. Yeah, Rams will get one. I'm trying to find the list, actually. I think we had a list somewhere.
So the Rams Monday night game in Santa Clara will have the red throwback jerseys. Thank you, Alex Faulkner, for pointing that out. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off while you were talking about that. And yes, the 49ers do need receivers, so why wouldn't they ask about Jerry Rice?
Yeah, so the news release, I believe they sent out, or as Jed York live tweeted it from the state of the franchise, it says, a major aspect of the organization's 75th anniversary season, the 49ers have released the first images of their 94 red throwbacks, featuring drop shadow numbers, blah, blah, blah. Oh, here we go. I read the paragraph before I was supposed to. The 94 red throwbacks will debut in the team's home opener on Sunday Night Football versus the Packers. It would also be worn Week 7 against Indianapolis, on Monday Night Football against the Rams, Week 15 against Atlanta. The 49ers will also wear their 94 white throwbacks for their primetime road games in Seattle and Tennessee. And that's my thing. I think I'm excited because we talked about it last week a little bit, right? These seem to be the primetime jerseys. Niners are going to go out in their best looking uniforms in front of everybody. It's exciting. These jerseys are very clean, and it's exciting that they're only using them for big time games. You know, apparently playing Tim Tebow and Trevor Lawrence wasn't a big enough game for these jerseys. But yeah, no, very exciting. That was definitely the big announcement everybody was waiting for. Kind of the worst kept secret of the thing. I think Nike leaked it a little early today. But very excited. Big spending $150 on jersey guy.
Yeah, look good, feel good. And that's how the 49ers, or what is it? Look good, play good. And that's how the 49ers moved last year. Anytime that they wore those jerseys, good things happen. It's funny because, my old self can remember in 94, the 49ers pleading with the NFL to allow them to wear those jerseys for the entire season. Guess what happened? The 49ers win a Super Bowl. Hey, is that a correlation? No. But on June 30th, I can allude to it so I can make it seem like it's a correlation. So that's what we're doing right now. But at this point, those jerseys are so dope. Mm-hmm. And it really just boils down to who it is that you want at this point. But I think that I'm going to miss the rush on these jerseys tomorrow when they drop at 3 o'clock on my side and noon. And I think I'm going to wait. And if I miss out, I miss out. It just seems like when these jersey drops happen, there's a lot of 49ers fans. The 49ers are as much America's team as anybody is, as much as the Cowboys are. And who was it that said it on here? They are the world's
Kiana Martin. I was literally going to say that Kiana Martin called them the world's team. So you know what? Watch out, Real Madrid and Manchester United. The 49ers are coming. World's team confirmed. Jerry Rice definitely wears the jersey right because he's got those red socks above the white socks. Jimmy, in the picture Jed York posted, Jimmy Garoppolo's got the solid white legging thing going. Jerry Rice has got the red and white. Yeah, I mean, when the Niners, I love the gold pants, but when they go basic, just red and white, just, ooh. Such a clean look. Do you have any other jersey thoughts? Because I feel like we talked a lot about jerseys last week. Got any last thoughts before we move into the other announcement Jed York made?
Just one. If I buy the $150 ironed on jersey, why can't I get the 75 patch on it? So there's been a lot of discussion about this. It leaks on Nike.com. And immediately, me being a Nike.com, I guess, stockholder, whatever it is at this point, because I've spent literally every single dollar that I have to my name towards Nike. The patch is not on there, and people want to give you, here's what I realized today. I realized today on Twitter that so many people were good at sewing, and I had no idea that everyone was good at sewing. Let me explain.
Okay.
Buy the $150 jersey and buy the patch and sew it on. Sew it on? How? When did I learn how to sew? Who knows how to sew immediately? This is ridiculous. I have no idea how anyone can look at me and say that sewing is something that I need to have in my bag of tricks that I am missing. Unbelievable.
You know who's good? You know who's good at sewing? At least talking about sewing? Jim Harbaugh. Because he tweeted that one time. Anthony, I think the helmet, or Jesse, excuse me, I apologize. I think the helmet they're going to use is the same one as the white ones, which is going to have that 94, 80, the 80s, 90s logo, the one without the gold trim, and the basic SF, which is the best logo they've had behind this one, which I guess that's a take. I don't know. Jed York's other big announcement, though, the NFL didn't want him in their Hall of Fame, but the Niners are including Patrick Willis and John Taylor into the 49ers Hall of Fame. That's exciting. I know those are games that people are very excited to go to. I think they kind of tease that Bryant Young is probably going to get his thing too this year as well. He was the inductee in 2020, but there was no big celebration because, COVID. But yeah, so that's the big announcement. And that is, the only way I know John Taylor is through my dad's stories and him telling me about this stuff and watching him. I obviously know about the famous 290-yard touchdown game. Jed York talked about it. I believe he's the one with the game-winning touchdown against the Bengals in that Super Bowl as well, capped off the drive. So he finally gets his. That's huge. He's kind of the forgotten guy on those teams. Jerry Rice, Montana, Young, all of them get that notability. And then obviously, what can I say about Patrick Willis? We could talk about Patrick Willis for the next 10 hours, Jason. We're not going to because I don't think Simplecast allows us to download 10-hour podcasts. So what was your thought about the Niners' two new Hall of Fame additions?
Yeah, John Taylor is forgotten because of who was in front of him. And I feel like a lot of 49er fans believe that JJ Stokes would be that sort of guy towards, I don't want to be that kind of guy, but I understand that that was the thought process when he was drafted. But John Taylor absolutely deserves a spot in the 49ers Hall of Fame, maybe not the actual Canton Hall of Fame. And that's just based on there's been so many players who have come and gone who are very well deserving, but Patrick Willis is a no-brainer. Patrick Willis means more to younger 49er football fans than any player probably besides Frank Gore at this point, when you really think about it. You know, the younger 49er fans have had to deal with a lot of heartbreak. The older 49er fans have had to figure out how to deal with that because they didn't really have so many of those because they've had so many Super Bowl championships. But with Patrick Willis, man, he exemplifies everything that was good about that team at that time, especially when the team wasn't good or winning games. Put Patrick Willis in the Hall of Fame and stop messing around. Like the 49ers Hall of Fame, that feels like a formality, but stop messing around already. Put Roger Craig, put Patrick Willis in the Hall of Fame, please. I implore you. Your Hall of Fame doesn't mean anything until those two guys are in there at this point.
Yeah, Roger, we talked about it, Jason, a couple of weeks ago. The Roger Craig one obviously is insane. Mm-hmm. He pretty much created the modern day running back in the 80s. He was a large part of that offense. But yeah, Patrick Willis is a big one too, because like if Calvin Johnson is a Hall of Famer, like everybody says, and nobody uses the like, oh, he didn't play long enough thing against him. Like Patrick Willis was Calvin Johnson on the other side of the ball. Yeah, maybe not as generational talenty as Calvin Johnson was, but like he was the best running, or wow, he would have been a fun running back at his size. He was the best linebacker in the NFL for pretty much every season he played, save maybe one or two where you could throw in, Luke Kuechly or Ray Lewis, whatever you want to do. And I think
that's semantics, though. I feel like that's semantics. If you want to say that this guy was better, that's not a diss to Patrick Willis. That's just because Patrick Willis was within the best middle linebacker class, maybe of all time. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're honestly, when you cut me off, it makes me sound smarter because it said something to lead you to say something. Sorry, Alex. I didn't mean it like that. It's just when we see like Calvin Johnson, like everybody knows who he is. Patrick Willis was a generational talent. If I had to rank the talent, I think I'd put Calvin a little higher. Nothing against Patrick Willis, just Calvin Johnson was that good. Plus, Calvin Johnson does things on the offensive side of the ball, which usually is what gets more attention. Let's be honest. Mm-hmm. So that was pretty exciting. As I said, Twitter's having issues right now. Everybody's page is just not loading. I had some quotes ready to go that aren't there. But Greg Papa also interviewed Patrick Willis, or not Patrick. Well, No, he didn't. Keanu Martin did that one. Greg Papa interviewed God, I'm all over the place. George Kittle, and Fred Warner. He also interviewed Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. And Jason, would you be surprised to hear that John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan think that this roster could be better than the Super Bowl team? Are you surprised to hear that?
No. So it was funny because Greg Papa brought it up, and he says, hey, the last time we saw you in Miami, what do you think about this roster compared to that? So what are Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch supposed to say? Absolutely not. This team is nowhere near where this team was. No. So look, whether you agree with them or not, that's different, but you had to know what they were going to say. I actually am going to be the optimistic side of this and say, yes, this team is a little bit deeper than it was last year, based on quarterback, based on many other things that this team addressed. So it wasn't wrong, but what did you expect them to say as well? I did want to point out something that Kyle Shanahan said. First of all, Kyle Shanahan, with his beard, that salt and pepper beard when they recorded it, your coach could never. Again, I know that I always say this all the time, but your coach could never.
You're taking one of my talking points from later,
I'm sorry.
Jason. Come on.
I'm sorry.
We have a script. Follow the script, Jason.
I'm sorry. One thing that Kyle Shanahan said, though, that I thought was really good was he talked about, obviously, the goal is to win a Super Bowl. Obviously, I've been very close twice. But you understand that every year is a fresh start to do that. And I think that he addressed kind of those criticisms that he gets for those Super Bowls, and he knows what's in front of him, and Kyle Shanahan is going to get one. Eventually, it has to happen. He's too good at what he does for it not to happen. But that's what I walked away. I walked away with looking at my coach when I saw him sitting there with that beard before he even got to start talking, where I just said, man, look at this guy. If he walked in a room and told me I was terrible at my job, I would agree and try to improve.
really big only Shans vibe from Kyle Shanahan.
Oh yeah.
And just to clean up a few things, Willis and John Taylor will get their day week 15, December 19th. They're in the team alumni game. I don't know what team that is off the top of my head.
Week 15.
And then Bryant Young will get his Hall of Fame introduction ceremony week 9 against the Cardinals. So there's those 2 dates. The other big announcement, as I said, I'm kind of having a hard time with Twitter not working as it should. To get some of these quotes. The Niners are going to have open practice at Levi Stadium.
Yes.
Which I think is super cool. It's a really innovative way, or really a creative way to get fans in the stadium and see the team for the first time in 2 years. I think that's very exciting. I think that's something fans should be really excited for. And then also gives them a chance to, it's not just the first time with fans for the players. It's the first time with fans for the person who presses the firework button and the person who presses the scoreboard keys and all that stuff. So they really got to be on their game. So I think it's a really fun way to get the fans back into the stadium, because I mean, you and I saw the outside of the stadium. It's probably a lot more exciting on the inside than it is the outside.
Maybe.
So that's really cool. That was probably the other big announcement here. So I don't know, man. Jason, are you coming out to go watch the Niners open practice at Levi Stadium?
I will be. I will be. Now that depends on whether I can get fan access, because that goes to the season ticket holders, but it depends on whether we can actually get our credentials, which we're still working on. But I will be out there for camp one way or another, whether that's recording videos outside of the stadium, a la Grant Cohn, but he was actually allowed in. Me, I don't know if I will be, but we will be out there, and we will be bringing you coverage from out there as well.
Well, that's exciting. I was kind of like asking that question, expecting you to be like, nah, I'm in Jersey, I'll be good. And then you said yes. And I was like,
Flexbook, we're out there. We're going crazy. We're going to be out there near the stadium the entire time. Everything's outside. We vaccinated. Everything's going, and we're moving.
We vaccinated out here in the streets of Santa Clara. That's what it is. Jason, do you have anything I'm forgetting regarding it? Was there anything that stood out to you that we haven't touched on? Because, as I said, Twitter's kind of screwing me right now. No. When Twitter's not working, part of me is dead. I don't know how to function. I am addicted to Twitter. Anything you have off the top of your head that you can think of?
I do, actually. It was when Fred and George were talking, and they were talking about the first time that they actually locked horns in practice.
Yes. And
Fred Warner said, oh, well, I kind of strapped him the first time that we played. And George Kittle channeled his inner Rich Madrid and told him, hey, I can pull up the tape and we can see the difference. So, look, this was all obviously recorded early on, obviously something that was pre-planned. The older state of the franchises was this big spectacle inside of let's say a ballroom or something like that, where they had people come out and do things like that, where they show the the jerseys with players. This one, while we're moving closer to having regular things happen again, still felt the vibe of being recorded earlier, being recorded with this being put in front, like even Jed York's thing at the end. When Kiana asked, hey, Jed, do you have any more announcements? He said, hey, I'm just going to go right to Twitter. And he fake typed the tweet, and then it popped up. And it was a scheduled tweet. Boom. So with the state of the franchise, I think they did a great job of just getting guys in front of the camera that people wanted to see. Obviously, Fred and George are like Greg Papa said, one or two at their position, depending on whatever it is that you want to bring up. So that's fine. But I think they did a great job of getting people in front of the camera that they wanted to see. And it was really cool to get that interaction between Fred and George talking about how they competed while they were in practice together.
Yeah, we all know Rich Madrid's a big watch the tape guy. That's his gimmick, man. It's so
I don't know if it's his gimmick. That's his brand.
That's his brand, gimmick, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, the other thing I took away is Greg Papa was really excited for in-person interviews because he only said, I feel like I could reach out and touch you to both Jed York not Jed York, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. And then he went back to the same line with George Kittle and Fred Warner. So I make fun of it, but like it's exciting because like as a baseball fan, Jason, you and I are both baseball fans, right?
Yes.
And it's slowly becoming, hey, the media can start talking to players on the field again and things like that. So like, it's exciting for everybody. Everybody is very excited for this upcoming season for one reason or another. And as I said, today's the first day for me for 49ers football. And tomorrow we'll get to see everybody all excited, posting screenshots of them getting their favorite player's jersey and all that. I'm waiting for my Tabor Pepper one to become available. I'm excited. Oh, that was another thing. Let's help Tabor Pepper get a Walmart sponsorship. Let's do that. He was big on that today because I think somebody called him yesterday like he looks like a Walmart brand George Kittle. And then Walmart responded to the tweet, and Tabor Pepper got very excited. So in case you were wondering how we were going to fit Tabor Pepper into today's episode, that's how we did it.
Cool.
Yeah, man, it's exciting, man. Football is around the corner. Like we're legit going to wake up tomorrow morning and we're going to flip the calendar to July. I might even do it tonight. That's how excited I am. And we could say we are 1 month away from football because we will be 1 month away from preseason. And then we're going to flip that calendar again. And we're going to say, hey, we're 1 month away from the regular season. And we're going to flip it again. And the regular season's going to be here. And the next thing you know, it's going to be the Super Bowl. And then we're going to do the draft process all over again with the 32nd pick. Time flies. Time flies. You see how I did that?
I love that.
Time flies. Jason, I don't know. There's a little shorter episode if we're wrapping up now. Did you have any last second thought? I feel like we shouldn't go as long as we usually do because that's as long as the state of the franchise.
Yeah.
we shouldn't have as many thoughts as that. So any final thoughts before we get up out of here?
Yeah, one more thing I wanted to talk about. When they asked Fred and George about the whole fans being in the stands thing, and we had Kwaski on the show, and he asked him about that same exact thing. Like, hey, how much did fans not being there? And Kwaski almost gave an answer of, yeah, it kind of matters, but he never really wanted to equate any sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Any sort of downside to it. And he never really equated any sort of like, hey, this is why things were happening. But for me, Kwaski seems like a guy who is going to keep things close to the vest. When you saw George and Fred talk about it, they talked about kind of missing that juice. And when you listen to Kyle Shanahan talk and say, hey, we went out there and there was a bunch of cardboard cutouts out there and that was so weird to me. Yeah. I don't see how this couldn't affect everybody else. Kwaski may be so locked in that he doesn't see any of that. And I think that's kind of where he was coming from with it. And when you listen to him talk, nobody's more, into the film, into understanding what's going on than him. It seems like on the defense, probably, other people, but we've only had the chance to speak with him. But I really like that answer because I don't see how that doesn't affect you. Oh. And that's really, and I feel like that Philly game after Ayuk jumps over people. Yeah. Go, Andrew, go.
We've said it. I was literally going to say that was my point I was going to make. Yeah. We've said it on the pod before. The Niners win that game if there's a crowd. Because that jump over play, Ayuk scores a touchdown. Levi Stadium, almost said Candlestick. Levi Stadium would have been lit. It would have been loud. It would have been the good old E40, like Levi starting to feel like Candlestick. Ooh, he does his thing. That was my E40 impression. I thought about doing it, didn't like it. I embarrassed myself on the internet. It's not the first time. It's not the last time I will embarrass myself on the internet. But yeah, like, the Niners win that Philadelphia game if there's a full crowd and Brandon and you cannot tell me otherwise. You can't tell me otherwise. So to sit there, I did like Kyle Shanahan's little like positive. He's like, yeah, man, I like not having to use silent counts on the road. That was probably the only positive. And he's like, man, I wish we could have an invention where I get that every year. But yeah, man, I'm juiced for the crowds. And I mean, I'm somebody who doesn't really go to games. I've only been to one game in my life, but like just watching the games on TV, you feel a difference. And I mean, even to like, just to relate it, I went to the Giants A's game on Friday, the first full capacity and nobody cared about the game really. It was just lit. It was loud. It felt like it was just the first time everybody was near each other.
Yeah.
Got a couple like fake fights, but it was like a joking thing, like handshakes, like ha ha ha. We almost made a viral YouTube video. It was wild in the bleachers at Oracle Park. Didn't mean to go on that tangent.
There you go.
But yeah, man, I'm excited because as we've said it, Jason, you know, we can only take so much of the who's the Niners going to take at 12, who's the Niners going to take at 3. Now they have Trey Lance quarterback talk, and we're going to get a little bit about that. But in the next coming weeks, it's going to be, we have practice to watch and see and hear about and actually have these comparisons. So we're very excited. Jason, do we want to talk about like our very loose schedule we have planned out for next week that I don't think I actually mentioned to you yet?
I mean, if it's loose, it's the loosest because this is the first I'm hearing of it. So go for it, Andrew.
Okay, so you remember that thing we were planning to do today? Before we were like, hey, let's do the state of the franchise. We're going to start that next week. So Jason and I, we're going to start next week. We're going to start looking at the positional groups. I'm not sure what position we're going to start at. We were going to start with the running back today, and we're going to save quarterback for last. So for those of you like, where's quarterback? Quarterback's going to be the last one. So let's get that out there. But we're going to start with whatever position we decide. We'll talk about that. That'll be next week, probably Wednesday. I don't know. Wednesday sounds like it works with me because Monday's a holiday. And we're going to do that. I think we should start with special teams, just so Jason gets real hyped about the series. And
well, all right. So, but you already stole from me. You're talking about you're getting somebody's jersey, and I'm here sitting here trying to get franchise cornerstone Robbie Gold's jersey when all these things drop because he's not going anywhere apparently anytime soon.
Whoa! My guy, I need to buy Mario Golf before I get a jersey. Like, let's be honest. I need to get
Mario Golf.
Yeah, Mario Golf, dude. Came out on the Switch. I'm super excited.
Andrew, do you want to hear something on the podcast that you may have known, but I'm gonna divulge to you now before we wrap this all up?
Okay, let's do it.
I'm also a proud owner of MLB The Show 21. No,
can we play? Let's go. I want to hit perfects off you.
Can I play with someone who plays on the better system because I am still with my Nintendo 64, aka my PS4.
Yeah, dude, let's play. Let's do it. Yeah, yeah, it's cross-platform. Maybe we stream it. Ooh, maybe we stream it on the Twitch. We could do Giants versus the Yankees. I mean, my pitching staff against the Yankees offense. Oh God, that might be a massacre. As always, we tend to talk Yankees Giants at the end of these. Shohei Ohtani, not great. My fantasy team a little sad.
It's all right.
Actually, I had Herman going against Ohtani in my fantasy league, and not a great night for me. But that's okay
because he just got pulled after like the third inning after the rain delay. Sounds all bad all around. Baseball's not a real sport.
Baseball's not. Oh, dude. Oh, we can do this. You ready for this? Jason Aponte as Kiana Martin closed out the state of the franchise as always.
Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners. The Giants still have the best record in baseball. It's not that bad.
They do. Whatever.